Welcome everyone. This is a subject that we talked about in the past, but I feel it's very important to bring it up again because it's in the news and a lot of things have happened since we last talked about it. And Taylor has his parents here, which I think is important because he did such a great job on the first time we talked about it, and that is the very controversial transgender ban of all people transgender serving in the military. There are thousands of people, and just about all of them doing a fabulous job. And to have them all banned because they're transgender is just an outrage, and it really hits home for you, Taylor. Talk about your gut feelings being a proud transgender person when you heard about this, that all transgender people are going to be banned from the military.
Well, to speak a little bit, like, going back, he originally envisioned the ban because it was believed that the extra expenses because of transgender-related medical things were costing more, and they needed to do sort of like a budget cut. And how that hit to me was like, they stood around, they said, okay, something needs to go, and instantly they thought, we're less than cisgender army enlistments, and I don't understand how you can just demote someone because they identify as something else, and because there are studies that the expenses that transgender individuals have when they're in the army don't really take up as much as other things do, and it's extremely disgusting.
Rocco, you're never shy about bashing Trump. And one thing that jumped out at me is when this announcement was made,
right,
many of the top military officers expressed their absolute outrage, saying that so many transgender men and women have been doing a fabulous job, and to remove them was just outrageous, disgusting. Your thoughts?
I think that just you hit the nail right on the head in terms of why this was just such a stupid decision, because you have military people, you have plenty of people. There's enough empirical evidence that they did when they got rid of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, where they said that these people are more than qualified to do this, and you have the president pretty much going absolutely against empirical evidence. That's what's just kind of frustrating about this particular president, is that he doesn't seem to be listening to experts. He's like listening to only himself and whoever seems to be supporting him, and it just seems like such a short-sighted way of going about policy.
Yeah, when it came out, there was a statement. President Trump said he consulted with many top military officers, and that turned out to be a total lie and a fallacy, that he didn't speak to any military officers. So to me, that just even makes it worse. It was like a spur-of-the-moment thing, not too much thought involved, no consultation with military officers, just outrageous.
Yeah, I mean, even the Secretary of Defense, I mean, he can only say so much, being he serves for the president, but the fact that even he felt that this wasn't the greatest idea, that really says a lot, and it shows just how much this president is really not seeking outside counsel on his decisions, and that's not good. You need, when you're a president, you have a staff, you have to, govern by consensus, and the fact that he's been doing this without any research and all that, I mean, with everything that happened with his predecessor, everything was meticulously studied. Everything was carefully planned, and there's none of this with this president.
Taylor, I think the one positive that has come from this is that it's emboldened the transgender community. So many people from the transgender community have stepped forward, from Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, but so many officers have, with such beautiful details, have talked about with pride their service in the military.
Yes.
And so many stories have come forward. Do you feel a sense of pride being transgender, that the positive that's come out is that it's really strengthened the transgender community because so much pride and together on this, feeling the outrage against the administration?
I do, and it has. I'm on 2 different like Facebook groups that identify like transgender, non-binary, and whatnot. And like right after this whole thing happened, I saw in the event protest for transgender rights, and shirts that came out that said 5 times down the line, trans individuals are not a burden. And we know that there's not much you can do to stop us from doing things that everyone else does.
Absolutely. And, I got to say this. We're so happy to have you on the show. I've given you a role as our vocalist to sing whenever you're free on Sundays. But more than that, more importantly, is I think that I've learned you have great character already. One of our guests on our show, Shelley, asked you to sing at a special event, suicide prevention, so you're already making an impact. But more importantly, I think that your experience on our show is you can be actually a role model for the transgender community in such a positive way. Talk about that.
Well, I came out kind of immediately after I kind of discovered that I, felt this way, and so many people that identify as trans have extreme dysphoria and they're bullied, and I try my best every day to be as confident and as outgoing as possible and just not let any of that hold me down. And no one should have to go through that. No one should have to walk through the halls going, can they tell this? Are they going to say something? And it shouldn't be.
And, we brought up a stat, a very alarming stat in the past, that 40% of all transgender people have at one time in their life attempted suicide, and that's an alarming stat. But I hope through people like yourself, who are such a positive role model, that 40% is going to go down in the future.
Yeah, it should, and it will, because all of this, all the media, all these things that are trying to hold us down, it's only making us stronger and more confident, and yeah, it's just.
Rocco, I look over at Taylor's parents, and when he's talking, I see the pride coming out from them, and
absolutely.
I see it's a wonderful thing. And what do you think of, you're very well spoken. What do you think about Taylor being a role model for transgender? I definitely see it happening already.
I think he transcends that. I think that he's just a great role model for young people, period. I think that it's important when we think about all this kind of thing is that, great individuals are great individuals. And I think that if you're a great person, regardless of, who you are, where you came from, I think you can do great things. And I definitely see that in Taylor. I think in the past when we've done segments, I think he's just been a great voice for young people. And it would be wonderful to have him continue doing that for us.
Absolutely. And Taylor, before we go, why don't you give out the name of those Facebook pages, because maybe through this video, more people will join. So why don't you give a heads up of those pages so maybe there can be more members, and the more people that talk out on this issue, you never know what can happen down the road.
Yeah, definitely. Especially on a general topic, anyone who identifies as LGBTQ plus or trans, non-binary, there's a Facebook page for this great organization that has a place in Belmore. It's called Pride for Youth. You can look it up on Facebook, and they have a bunch of great programs. And like every Friday night, they have a sort of like teens night where you go. It's called Coffee House, and you get to meet a bunch of new or old people that identify as LGBTQ plus, And they also have Tuesday nights called Transaction, which are for trans and I'm pretty sure non-binary individuals. And you get a safe space where you just get to talk about anything and no judgment whatsoever. So that's one group. And then someone named Devin Zappa also runs I'm gonna botch the acronym, but it's TGNC, and that's the other group I'm in. And yeah, both of those will be on Facebook.
All right, awesome. And Michael, you heard what he said about the Tuesday thing, and let's show that tattoo and tell us the tattoo, what it's all about.
This is their logo. It's like, I don't know what the artist's name is, but that's their symbol they used of just like it's supposed to be just two people holding hands or something. It's like cave drawings or whatever. But anyway, I got in like 2009. I started going there in 2006. I had my brain surgeries, and everyone there wrote this big giant poster card, "Get well soon." They all signed it. I still have it. So, gay rights, trans rights, whatever, that never was a thing in my mind, really, at that age. I started going when I was 16, and just going there, being around those kids, it really made me think more about that. And everyone, I don't view it as, gay rights, and I view it as, we're all just people here. We're all just young kids trying to be friends. I don't care you like it or whatever, we're all just friends here. So that really was therapeutic. That got me, to beat this brain surgery thing, because really when I was doing that, it wanted to make me, survive that and go back there and be friends so that we can make more friends. I'm still in contact with a lot of kids there still. And being there really helped. It really made me want to continue living, so I do that.
Awesome, that's great. So, what a great segment. I want to thank Taylor Greenberg for sharing. I want to thank Rocco for sharing, Michael Banks for sharing, and we're so proud to have all these great people on our show. And please share the videos. And it's a cause that we'll continue to promote. We're supporting transgender people, and we're totally 1,000% against the ban of transgender people in the military. So we'll fight, and we'll continue to spread the word. Thank you.